Nevada. Mackey Stadium, home to the Nevada Wolfpack, where we have hit the jackpot responsibly with this matchup. And boy, do we have a fun one ahead. Top 10 team, target on their back, going on their road and right into the snake pit. As we'll see the number 8 team in the country, the Auburn Tigers, taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week, the Nevada Wolfpack. 48 Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. Nevada about to kick it off to get this game started. And the ball will make it into the end zone. No return on that one for a touchback. So Auburn's offense takes the field for the first time today. And as we look out on the field, here comes the man who makes it all go, and that's this quarterback.
Yeah, and he's big time. That's why he's up for all these awards. He's known. Everybody knows exactly what he brings to the table. He can run it. He can throw it. They're expecting a big day from this young fella.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Back to throw, it's Grant. Oh, so close to paying off the tip drill. He had it in his hands, but it falls incomplete. So already they've hit a speed bump on this opening drive. It's 3rd and 8. He wants to throw it. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. And the critical down and distances in this game, like that 3rd down right there, when it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You've got to be able to make that play.
They are backing up their pregame words. Their first drive of the game, 4th down in their own end, and they're going for it. Complete out of the backfield, looking for the sticks. Will not get there. A 4th down stop. So Nevada's offense will go to work for the first time. One thing to keep an eye on in this game, when they get a back isolated on a linebacker, who wins that matchup?
Quarterback likes the matchup, but this linebacker, he's different, man. Not only is he a hitter, he's got the athleticism to cover people, too.
Normally you say that's a win for the running back. Running back and a linebacker, I win. But this guy is different. Interested to watch this matchup.
He's looking for an open man on second down. That ball is intercepted at the goal line. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
Not the start this kid was looking for. Very first pass of the day gets picked off. This is a defense that's got a lot of ball hawks on the back end, and he's got to be real careful with his eyes, not telegraph throws like he did right there. He's going to have to settle in.
Really important for a ranked team going into a hostile environment like this one, not to give the underdog reason to believe.
Yes, reason to believe, and don't give the fans reason to get jacked up and excited. Come out early, be in a business mode mindset.
You got to start fast. You got to have a sense of urgency. You cannot come sleepwalking into an environment like this, because if you do and you make some mistakes, this crowd will pounce on you and seize momentum.
Wide receiver coming across in motion. Quick pass on the fly motion. Crosses to 40. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. And the Tigers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground.
The big defensive tackles in the middle, they're not always the best pass rushers, but they are strong, and I say country strong. They put their hands on you, you feel it. They lock people out on the line of scrimmage. They create separation. They wrap running backs up, and usually they don't get out of the midst of those big boys.
How aggressive might this play call be on 3rd and short from the 46? Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. Inside the 35. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. It's now 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Give to the back. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
First down, physicality wins football games. Being able to run the football and create balance. And right here, just choose up another first down. gives you another chance to maybe continue to run the football.
And I feel like this guy, too, is just an explosive play waiting to happen. His vision, his quickness, and he's got to burst. If you give this guy just a crease, he's going to hit it.
Touchdown, Auburn! And they'll put that scoreboard operator to work and put 6 on the board.
Defenses at some point are going to have to figure out how to slow this guy down because he already has 3 receiving touchdowns. We're only 4 games into the season. Nobody has an answer for this guy.
7, Nevada, 0.
Out of the end zone. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Nevada takes over as the offense returns to the field. After that last pick, David, they really need to take care of the ball this time.
No doubt. And Palmer, I want to know what Spurrier said to you on the sideline after a pick.
Do that again, and you'll be right here beside me for the rest of the game. You got to go out. You got to call your plays, and I hope this coaching staff isn't going to be afraid to throw it this round.
Nevada going quickly. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Caught over the middle. It's Clemens. Now they'll really try to get this drive going. Good execution on 3rd down as they have it 1st and 10 at the 31.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on 3rd down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting to his progression.
He's going for a big play downfield. Into double coverage, and they made him pay. It's intercepted. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Line gets set, 1st down. Looking to pass, it's Grant. Unloads to the wideout. And the ball is picked off. Would have loved to have gotten a big return out of that one, but they'll take it 1st down at the 40. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. Looking for more room. The 20. And he's going to take it all the way back. Touchdown, Auburn. What a play by this defense with the pick 6.
And how about the defender? Exactly what you're supposed to do. Breaks on the football, makes the interception. Everybody on defense, we turn to offense. Go lay some blocks so my guy can get it and take it back to the house.
Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Nevada takes over as the offense returns to the field. To say this has been a slow start is a bit of an understatement, and they really need to get it going here, Jesse.
That's right. The opponent, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. Offensively, for this unit, they've been slow and struggling. They need an explosive play to wake themselves up.
Yeah, and it's just the 1st quarter, so it's not the end of the world. You've seen slow starts, but you got to continue to pick and pick and pick until you find that play or that scheme that you can use against this defense.
He'll do it himself. Really nice run there. Good, solid pickup, and they'll move the sticks for the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
Ooh, I like that option play. I'd keep running that, too, because it's obvious. The defense right now is really keying in on this running back. That was a big point of emphasis for them all week long in practice, and it's opening up holes now for the quarterback to run.
From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. There to make the tackle, and that's how we'll wrap up this 1st period. Both teams wanted to establish the run, and they have done exactly that in the 1st quarter. First down to start the drive after the break. On the ground with the counter. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down.
Encroachment defense.
Contact in the neutral zone leads to that penalty. Good news for the offense. That is a costly penalty on this defense. Now they're dealing with a 2nd and 2. Looking downfield, it's Wynn. Fires it beautifully in on the crosser. And he was just a couple of steps away from taking that one even further after the catch. The inside handoff. Pulled down after a pickup of 3. Ball's at the 13. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Using his legs, it's Clemens. Pulled down after a pickup of 5. They'll mark it at the 8. Boy, they'd love to pick up this conversion and go to work with a 1st and goal. They turn to the passing game on 3rd and short. Makes the grab. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it 1st and goal. This offensive scoring position with a fresh set of downs. They'll try to pound their way in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Nevada. It's a much-needed life from this offense as they try to cut away at this lead.
No doubt. Needed something to go right. When you're down, you got to make plays. You got to get your team back in it. Great start. Keep chipping away.
Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Now here comes that Auburn offense onto the field again. Well, let's see if this drive goes better than the last one. They were in and out quickly after the quick pick, David.
Yeah, first play, big mistake, man. Now, let's get this offense in a little bit of a rhythm. Maybe before you open it up again, Palmer, or do you trust him right away?
He seems to me like the guy maybe that just needs to kind of get into the flow of the game. So maybe you get the running game going here and just give him some easy looks to let him get lathered up.
They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on 1st down. It's 2nd and 3. And excellent vision to find running room there and make a really good pickup before the defense put a stop to it. There's a rich tradition of running the football at Auburn from James Brooks, Joe Crips, Bo Jackson, Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. They love to find a tough running back to feed the rock.
Such great history, such great lineage of ground and pound and great athletes. And it's just a physical mindset of Auburn. And they're always that team that wants to run the football.
Got his man on the right. They make the stop, but the sweet throwing catch is plenty to give him a 1st down. The Tigers come to the line with a new set of downs. A little too anxious along that offensive line. That'll be a false start.
False start. Offense.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They'll move it back, and it's 1st and 15 for this offense. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces 2nd down. The Tigers racing to the line in a hurry-up. Dropping back, it's Grant. Makes the grab over the middle. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down. The offense will quickly use a timeout. Quite a bit of work to do on 3rd down from the 23, and this D would love to force a field goal try. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the 1st half. They'd hoped to be able to pick up enough after the catch, but a good stop leaves them with a 4th and short.
Really good job by the defense being physical, understanding the situation in the game. The ball's going to come out quick. You know that. Go make the tackle, force the 4th down.
They're not into 3s. They want 6s, and to keep this drive alive, they'll need to get it on 4th down. Shakes off the tackler. They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's 1st and goal from the 7. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call.
I love offenses that can just rely on their offensive line to get it done in 4th and short situations like that. Turn around, hand it off, let's stay on the field and keep this thing going.
He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Clock still running, almost certainly the last play of the half. He's looking to throw. He wants it all. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to do it for the first half.
That's the end of the first half.
Auburn ready to boot it deep to start the second half.
Nevada, 7.
Here's the return from inside, and now the hit knocks it loose. Almost a disaster on that return. They jump on it, and they'll maintain possession. Nevada takes over as the offense returns to the field. Those two first-half turnovers really damaging, and the primary reason they find themselves trailing to start the third quarter.
And this is an offense that prides themselves on taking care of the football and then having explosive plays. You know they're playing angry right now. They're mad. They know they're the reason why they're down in this game, so I expect them to come out here, lighten it up here after the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and this defense playing fast, playing physical, forcing things into action, forcing those turnovers. They played really well in this first half.
Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. The give to the tailback. Knocked down at the 29-yard line. Picked up 15 yards on the play, and he's got a first down. Caught behind the line. It's ball. They make the stop right there. Good pickup, but still short of the first down. They can really be aggressive after. To the air, it's Wynn. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up third down. That last incomplete pass has him staring at a 3rd and 3. To the ground to try to move the chains. And a really nice run and pick up there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play. They'll keep it on the ground for 1st and goal. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Nevada going quickly.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
They'll run it up the middle here, looking for a path to the end zone. Gets it inside the 10, picks up a yard. They'll mark it at the 9. Looking to the end zone on 3rd and goal. And he can't find his man as he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity. They'll try to salvage a field goal on this drive. Never a doubt. Right down the middle. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, I think at least a portion of your audience will have an interest in the one that just finished up. LSU managed to eke out the victory in a tighter than expected one. Don't blame the gumbo there in Baton Rouge this week. These Tigers are to blame for this one being this close. It's one game. You don't want to react too much either way. But I think both teams will leave this one with some things to work on moving forward.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there, Kevin. Thanks for the update. Fresh set of downs after the completion. Comes out throwing on 1st down. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Touch pass on the jet sweep. And that defense is there to guide him out of bounds after a short gain. This defense will try to force a 4th down on 3rd and short from the 45. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Inside the 40. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a 1st down for this offense.
This offense has a lot of different ways they can attack you, and you're going to see the entire playbook at work in this game. Throwing it, running it, and getting guys the ball out on the perimeter. Great job.
They'll get him on the ground after a pickup of 3 to the 28. Got 3 on 1st down at 2nd and 7. From the gun, running back on the move. Knocked down after a 3-yard gain to the 25. Ball's at the 25. They're in field goal range, but they'd love to convert this 3rd and short. Going for it all. And good coverage there to knock it away and deny the score. They've already gone for it a couple of times on fourth down, converted once. Looks as if they'll try a third. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And they can't make the connection on fourth down, and they'll turn it over. On first down, here comes this offense. He leaves it with his back. He breaks a tackle. Tackle is made at the 28 after a pickup of 3. Nevada going quickly. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. Defense closed down quickly after a gain of 3. They'll mark it at the 32. Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. Trying to pick it up on the ground. Tough, hard-nosed running. He got 3, but he needed 4. It's 4th down and 1. The Wolfpack will line up to punt it away. First time today we've seen a punter go to work. And the coverage team able to make the tackle. And Auburn is ready to go back to work on offense. They've got it back after that last drive stalled out, and they were stopped on fourth down, David.
Yeah, and they put a little bit of a drive together, but, Jesse, they stalled on the other side of the field, and they got to find a way to keep that momentum going as they get closer to the end zone.
I agree. I do like their mindset, though, and I think they need to continue being aggressive moving forward in this game.
Not much he could do there. Does pick up 2 to the 34. Here on third down. Toss to the outside. They were all over him. Nowhere to go as that third down play turned into a disaster. If you like old school running games, this has been the game for you and a couple of guys who starred through the first 3 periods. Now this is rolling the dice, or perhaps they've gone outside their head. They're already up. Boy, this could really backfire if they don't convert on fourth down. He is stopped short, and isn't things interesting. We've got a timeout here as this coach is challenging the call. He wants to give the replay booth a chance to have another look. The coach still thinks he was right. The officials say he was not. The challenge is denied, and the timeout is gone. He'll keep it himself. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. From the gun, the running back has it. Just what this offense was looking for. Sets him up at the 26 for the first down.
Well, they get another big run for a first down, and if you're on offense, you love the way your offensive line is blocking early in this game. They're getting tremendous movement, and they're making life pretty easy for these running.
Got enough space. Touchdown, Nevada. And they grab the advantage, taking the lead here in the 4th.
Man, I love this offense, being able to run the football late in the game when it matters and punch it in for the touchdown, and more importantly, take the lead.
And he made that extra point, the wet turf, no problem at all. No reason to risk trying to field that one as it skips through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Now here comes that Auburn offense onto the field again. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Back to throw, it's Grant. Makes his connection. And they pick up just a few on that completion. Auburn to the line in a hurry.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead, it's late, and they're going to try to tackle.
Hey, that's a live ball. And the defense has it. They're going the other way. Down after a solid return. Great spot to start this drive for the offense. off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. And he'll run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Nevada! The offense did exactly what it needed to do, getting the ball in field position like that.
It's that killer mentality. You step on their throat and keep your foot down. When you get opportunities like that, they are golden chances to put touchdowns on the board. The offense took care of business.
And he's going to bring this one out. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. And Auburn is ready to go back to work on offense. That last fumble proved to be costly as they cashed it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, so this defense now is juiced. They're excited and ready to go. So this offense, David, they've got to get something going.
Yeah, those turnovers can be contagious, man. It gets you excited, and then when your offense takes it down the field and does something to win, then this offense better be ready to play against a motivated defense.
He's looking for a man on second down. What a catch on the right sideline as he makes a huge play. Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the second half. It's 1st and 10. He wants to throw. Grabs it in the middle. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33. Auburn ready to go back to work after getting another first down. He'll just keep slinging it. Throws toward the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Tigers. On to attempt the try. And the extra point pulls them to within 3, 24-21. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. After scoring that touchdown, they'll try to get it right back with an onside kick. They recover their own fumble. Somehow, who knows how they got that thing back.
Illegal touch. Offense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Boy, this is just the type of field position this offense wants. The handoff keeps working on that clock. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup. The clock continues to run, and they'll be happy to wind it all the way down before they snap it. The secondary walks up on the line, showing press coverage. Out of the gun, they give to the back. They work that running game down to the 34. Let's give him 3 on the carry. Nevada going quickly. We've reached a 2-minute warning in this offense, trying to milk this clock and keep time on their side. This is a big 3rd down. If they can move the chains, they can just about salt this game away. Dropping back, it's Wynn. They're bringing heat. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Making sure there's no return on that one as the punt sails out of bounds. Now here comes that Auburn offense onto the field again. They put it in the end zone the last time they had it, and now an opportunity to really take control of this game.
You can feel the momentum shifting. And if they were able to take the football here, drive it down the field, and score again, David, they would have all of that momentum on their side.
And there's nothing about momentum that you can quantify. Like, I don't understand it, but once it gets going in one direction, a lot of times it's so hard to swing it back the other direction. The momentum is real, and they got it.
Tackled, but he has a first down. Everybody has to be set. They have to get it off. Looking to go up top on first down. Working the middle, it's complete. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down. Looking to move it through the air. He finds his man. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. Looking for a productive play on first down. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. From the 33, it's 1st and 10. Quick pass on the jet motion. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Kept it on the ground on first down. Now back to the line.
Brings up 2nd down.
Quick touch pass to the receiver. And he'll get out of bounds. It's a first down there in plus territory and now threatening to get the score. And if they want to take the lead, can't be thinking field goal here. They'll need a touchdown to go up in the 4th. And he's tackled, but there's also a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is.
Holding. Offense.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. Now with the 1st and goal, let's see what Auburn's got cooking. Looking to throw, it's Grant. Going to try to pop one on the screen. They get it down to the 7 on that pass play in prime position for a score. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running, 2nd down coming.
Now 2nd and goal.
He's looking to throw. Moving away from pressure. It'll be incomplete. Tried to extend the play, but just couldn't find anybody open.
This late in the game, 4th quarter, go time, we got to make plays. We got to go to those things that really, really work well. We can't waste too many more downs. I know it's 3rd down coming up, but we got to put this thing in full throttle.
This kicker is going to need nerves of steel on this one. Timeout called by the defense, and there are only 10 seconds left in the game. And this to tie us up in the final minute. And that is no good. And after the miss, they're still down by a field goal. Running out the clock, a mere formality between them and a victory as we have victory formation coming. Sometimes it's just not your day. Things just didn't work, and that seemed to be the case here.
Yeah, they didn't get the W. They didn't do enough. But now you start to think about what could I have done differently? What do I need to become more offensively? Defensively, what can I morph into to make those extra plays, Jesse? That might be the difference in the next game that I play.
Yeah, David, they just need a little bit more. They need a little bit better effort next week. They're going to need better preparation this week in practice. There's no doubt this team has a lot of talent, but we just need a little bit more to ensure that this doesn't happen next week.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.